All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome you guys back to my channel. In today's video, what we're going to do now is we're going to go over the do's and don'ts of RV sewer hose living. We're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of RV sewer hoses. Now, everybody, for those of you guys that don't know, yesterday we went over how to unclog an RV sewer hose. Yesterday, we're going to go over the same thing, but we're going to talk about some different stuff with that sewer hose today, okay? All right, so before we get started, though, I'd like to give you guys a little bit of a notice about what's going on here. Before we get started here, I'd like to give you guys a little bit of a notice about what's going on. Yes, I am doing a video. Yes, I'll be doing it out here. As you guys can hear, this is an RV sewer hose, all right? So what we have here today is the Valterra Viper RV sewer hose kit. This unit allows you to drain your black water and gray water tanks at a dump station. Now, when you're talking about emptying out your black and gray water tanks at your dump station, you have to be aware of your surroundings, okay? So you want to be aware of your surroundings and what the sewer hose condition is, all right? This sewer hose allows you to expand and retract. This sewer hose allows you to expand and retract. This unit is very nice and gray and yellow, red and gray in color. Don't ever think about it, all right? So here's this. Think about this. Your RV sewer hose will have a few things going on, all right? So your RV sewer hose will have a few things going on with it, all right? Now, don't ever think about overestimating your RV sewer hose, okay? Sorry, everybody. That was UPS if you guys can hear them. That was UPS if you guys can hear them, okay? So, guys, don't overestimate your RV sewer hose, okay? Don't ever do that. All right, so now when it comes to using an RV sewer hose, you have to use it the correct way. All right, so what we need to do is, for those of you guys that don't know, this is not a used RV sewer hose. Okay, now for many of you guys that don't know, I have not used an RV sewer hose in a long time, or I have used an RV sewer hose for doing dump station simulations and doing all this other stuff with it. I've been doing a lot of different stuff with that as well, okay? So for many of you guys that don't know, this RV sewer hose, what you can do, the first thing that you can do is you can inspect your RV sewer hose. You want to make sure that there's no leaks. What you can do is extend your sewer hose all the way out if you want to. That's the first thing you can do, all right? That's the first thing you want to do when it comes to emptying out your black water and gray water tanks at your dump station. You want to make sure that this RV sewer hose does not have any leaks according to the owner's manual, okay? You want to make sure that it doesn't have any leaks coming out at you, okay? You want to make sure that this hose doesn't have any leaks. The way I'm looking at it right now, it does not have any leaks. This sewer hose is good, okay? This sewer hose is good, okay? Now, you want to make sure that this unit is covered with a 2-year warranty, okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if it's covered with a 2-year warranty, you want to make sure that this unit is basically covered with a 2-year warranty, all right? Now, the warranty of your RV sewer hose is determined by the complexity of it, okay? Now, don't ever do this, all right? Don't ever do this, all right? Now, what you think I'm fixing to do is this. Don't think I'm stupid, all right? If you stick your hand in an RV sewer hose, you're going to get it stuck, okay? Don't ever stick your hand in an RV sewer hose, all right? You're going to get it stuck, all right? That's for if you have a clog, all right? You want to make sure that your sewer hose is not clogged, all right? Now, like I told you yesterday, if you have an RV sewer hose that is clogged, if you have an RV sewer line that is clogged, like basically if it's clogged at the flange, if it's clogged at the flange of it, like right here, like I told you guys before, this is a 90-degree elbow, okay? So what we have here is I'll talk to you guys about the benefits of your 90-degree elbow here in just a minute. But now, if you guys can tell, like I said before, what we need to do is make sure that this RV sewer hose is good to use on your RV black water and gray water tanks at your dump station. Now, most of the situation here, when you're thinking about using an RV sewer hose like this, you want to make sure that you have a good airtight fit. This is where this comes in cue, okay? This is where this comes in cue. this is a 90-degree elbow. Okay, the 90-degree elbow, or your 90-degree universal sewer adapter, basically is a 4-in-1 adapter. Okay, you're going to fit a 3-inch slip, a 3-inch, 3.5-inch, and a 4-inch threaded fitting. Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, you really have to use this. Okay, you really have to use this. It is required by law in some states. Okay, it is required by law in some states. Now, if I wasn't using this RV sewer hose, if I was not using this RV sewer hose correctly, okay, let me show you this. If I was not using my sewer hose correctly, you see what this does? This is basically putting stress on my RV sewer hose, okay? Now, if I was to put this on front, like this right here, if I was to put this on right here, what I would do is this. See this? Now, you see how this unit fits? See how this unit fits right here? This unit fits on just like that, and basically what that does is it reduces the stress that is placed on my RV sewer hose when I'm at the dump station. Now, when I take it off, what I'll do is I'll turn it this way in order to take it off, all right? So whenever I'm done using it, I'll take it off, okay? Now, don't ever forget this, okay? Don't ever forget this at your dump station, all right? Don't ever forget this at your dump station, okay? This is required by law in some states, okay? This is required by law in some states. Now, after you're done using your black water and emptying out your black water and gray water tanks at your dump station, another thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a really nice connection or a really nice fit at your dump station, okay? Now, this sewer hose can fit a 3-inch or a 4-inch square RV bumper. Now, if you don't have a bumper, what you can do is you have a little compartment on your RV, and basically what happens is you can store your RV sewer hose inside your 4-inch RV square bumper, okay, like this. Now, if I was to put my sewer hose up like this, see what happens? Now, what I'm doing here is I'm capping off my sewer hose. You want to make sure that none of your contents, like your sewage, like your poop or pee, don't ever come out of your sewer hose whenever you're handling it, okay? Now, you want to make sure when you're using an RV sewer hose like this, you want to make sure that you're wearing gloves, okay? You want to make sure that you're wearing gloves, all right? Wearing gloves is something very important when it comes to using an RV sewer hose like this, okay? Now, in our next sewer hose video, we're going to talk about how to empty out your black water and your gray water tanks. We're going to talk about how to empty out your black and gray water tanks at your dump station, okay? When it comes to doing that, you have to be aware of what's going on and what your surroundings are at your dump station, okay? You want to make sure there's no kids around. You want to make sure there's no dogs or cats around, because this stuff is toxic to the environment, okay? Wastewater is toxic to the environment, kind of like it is right now, okay? Now, so what we have here is, if you take off, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the unit off. I'm going to take both the caps off so I can show you both ends of the unit, both ends of the sewer hose, and we're going to talk about the jobs. We're going to talk about the jobs of both of these fittings and connectors. Okay, so the job of these fittings and connectors here, if you look here, this right here is the 4-inch band, the 3-inch bayonet fitting here. See this fitting here? This fitting swivels, okay? This fitting swivels, all right? Now, one thing you don't want to do is, when it comes to connecting your RV sewer hose at your dump station, you don't want to have your RV sewer hose kinking like this, okay? You don't want to have your RV sewer hose kinked, okay? Because if your sewer hose kinks like this, you're going to end up having issues long term at your dump station, okay? Now, if you have a kink in your line like this, you can see that most of the time you really have to think about and make sure that your RV sewer hose is not kinking up in an area that you're not supposed to be using it in, okay? Now, so both of these fittings here, which are basically the lug fitting and the bayonet fitting, you can see that this right here, this little black thing that you see here is a seal. Okay, you see that little black thing in the center there? You see that little black thing in the center? That's a seal, okay? Now the seal is designed to pull on your RV sewer hose, and it's designed to pull into wherever you're putting your RV sewer hose at. Like if you're putting it on your valve assembly. Basically, what this does is it pulls onto the seal and it pulls it into itself, all right? So what we have here is this RV sewer hose here is designed to be used on your dump station, all right? So if you look here at this end of the unit, you have a lug fitting, okay? Your lug fitting here, you can see has the 4-pin design. The 4-pin design allows the unit to be used and allows it to be used, okay? You can see this unit does swivel here as well. The unit does swivel here as well, all right? So what we have here again is this unit is allowed to be swiveled. The reason why is because you don't want it to kink, okay? You don't want it to kink, okay? Don't ever use an RV sewer hose that is kinked, okay? So that's another don't when it comes to using an RV sewer hose, all right? So another thing I wanted to get into your thick head is how big is your hand, all right? Your hand is real big, okay? Your hand is real big. My hand is about 4 inches in diameter, okay? See this? These are my hands, all right? Now, where do your hands go? Do they go inside the sewer hose? No, they do not, all right? I'm 22 years old. For many of you guys that don't know, when I was little, I used to get in trouble for playing with my papa's sewer hose on his camper, all right? I used to get in trouble for playing with an RV sewer hose that was dirty, all right? That was his, but this sewer hose right here is mine, okay? This sewer hose right here is mine, all right? Don't ever play with a dirty RV sewer hose. That's another don't when it comes to RVing. Don't ever play with a dirty RV sewer hose, okay? Don't ever play with a dirty RV sewer hose because dirty RV sewer hoses can have bad pathogenic bacteria in them that can make you really, really, really sick, okay? That's another thing that you need to be aware about when it comes to using an RV sewer hose, all right? Now, we're going to talk about the consequences for what happens if you do something like this, all right? If you put your hand in an RV sewer hose and get it stuck, one thing you would have to do is go to the ER, okay? Go to the ER, all right? Where they would have to call somebody to come remove the hose off your hand, like a orthopedic doctor, okay? Now, orthopedic doctors are specialized in amputation of arms, hands, legs, and feet, all right? So, if you were to get a sewer hose stuck on your hand, now, what would happen is, sorry everybody, I had a mosquito fly in my mouth, all right? So, if you were to get an RV sewer hose stuck on your hand, what would happen is you would have to have the fire department come and assist you, all right? The fire department would have to come assist you, all right? And what they would have to do is they would have to use either a sawzall or a saw to cut the sewer hose off of your hand and get it off of your hand, all right? Now, they would either have to cut it here or here, okay? They would either have to cut here or here, okay? This part right here or either this part right here, okay? See there? That's what happens if you get a sewer hose stuck on your hand, all right? Now, if you play with an RV sewer hose that is real dirty, you want to make sure that it's cleaned and sanitized before you do that, all right? You want to make sure that it's clean and sanitized before you do that, all right? Now, if you play with a dirty RV sewer hose, say that your child wants to play with it and you tell your child no, and your child goes and grabs it anyway. Well, I used to get in trouble for doing that a lot, okay, when I was younger, okay? This RV sewer hose here this sewer hose here is clean, all right? This sewer hose right here is clean, all right? This sewer hose is clean, all right? But let me tell you what happens if it's dirty. What happens if it's dirty? Okay? What would happen if you get the dirty bacteria on your hands? Some of that bacteria is flesh eating. All right? Some of that bacteria is flesh eating. All right? Flesh eating. Now, most situations like this today where you would have to be able to identify what happens if you get sick. Most pathogenic bacteria found in raw sewage, like water bugs and microorganisms, can eat through your skin and go into your body and start eating your body alive. Okay, that's what happens if you play with a dirty RV sewer hose. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to cover is we're going to talk about how to store your RV sewer hose appropriately. All right, appropriately. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you have your RV sewer hose in your bumper like it is right now, okay? You want to make sure that it's in your bumper like it is right now, okay? Now, another thing that I want to tell you guys is this. You see this? This is a drip cap. This drip cap here fits inside the RV sewer hose like this, like that, all right? Now, if I was to put my sewer hose in my 4-inch RV bumper without the drip caps on them, what happens is if I was to go and open up my sewer hose right now before I use it, all my shit would come and get all over my hand. All right? All my shit would come and get all over my hand. And I would have issues with it. I would have issues getting shit all over my hands. All right? I don't want shit all over my hand. See that? You see this? When I pick it up, you see this right here? When I pick it up, you see the caps are made to hold the hose in the position that it needs to be held in. All right? So you see there? So ladies and gentlemen, that should be it for today's RV sewer hose do's and don't video. Ladies and gentlemen, that should do it for today's RV sewer hose do's and don'ts video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I do in the video, I'd like to tell you it doesn't have to be over. Okay, you can always like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell whenever you get a notification on YouTube. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that should do it for today's look at the Valterra Viper RV sewer hose and the do's and don'ts of an RV sewer hose. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.